At the moment on the final version of our site, there isn't really much text on the page, but at the moment our page currently says, hi there, you can edit your content in index.html. How do we go about adding our own text? Well, there's two parts to this project. We have our HTML, which is all about our content and how this content is structured. Later on, we'll talk about style sheets in CSS, and this is how things look. Now, most of this course will be in CSS and JavaScript because we'll be interacting with how things look and change. But here, what we have is some basic content that we need to add. So here at the moment, I have a H1 tag. H1 tag just means header number one, the kind of most important thing on the page, and then a P tag, which is a paragraph tag underneath this. So what do I want to do in my final design? Well, I've got this kind of like header area up here, and I've got a kind of footer area down here. So I'm going to split up my text into two boxes, a header box and a footer box. So I'm just going to go into my index.html, and I'm going to remove everything from now. There we go. I'm just going to quickly add in a header tag. Now, header tag uses these angle brackets and then some angle brackets with a slash. HTML tags are always kind of formalized. You'll always use a header tag for a header. You'll always use a H1 for a heading number one. There's a list of things online if you want to look them up. But in my header, what do I want to put in here? Well, unsurprisingly, what I want to put in here is playground. So playground. The next thing I want to do is separate out my two text areas. I've got one text area here. You can see it kind of highlighted with playground in. And then below this, outside this area, what do I want to put in here? A new digital agency, comma, coming soon. So I'm going to put this one in a different tag called footer. Footer, there we go. And I'm just going to quickly write in a new digital agency coming soon. There we go. Now the reason I'm putting this in two separate tags is I want the text styles to look two different ways. I want my header to have a different text style than my footer tag. Now, if I look at the site right now, what I'll get is something that looks like this. Now, why does it look like this? Well, you can kind of maybe guess that this text isn't styled up yet. Now, we put our content in the page. What we want to put in page is some style. So here we've got two different style sheets here. We've got one called base.css, which looks like this. It's pretty long. There's lots of things in here. Now what base.css does is it just resets the page. There's some very old styles from the 90s, which we don't really want to kind of play with. This just resets all of that stuff to give us basically a framework to start from scratch. Now in our style.css, we have some basic setup. Now this is where we're going to add all of our styling on the page. And at the moment you can see there's things like font family is Arial, the font size is 16 pixels, we have a line height in here, background color, text color, some margins, and some other stuff. Now down here what we have is a sad face because there isn't any H1 tags on our page anymore, which kind of makes sense because if you look on index.html, there's no H1. So what I'm going to do is just quickly get rid of these 4 lines of code just to tidy this up. There we go. Now, if I look at the page right now, it shouldn't look any different. I can quickly go back to preview. I can just toggle between these two using Command and K, which is a quick shortcut, Command K. And in here, it looks the same. Basically, what body does is style up the entire page. The entire page is currently Arial. The entire page is currently 16px. Now, if I want to change the entire page, I can just change things in here. So let's just quickly make the font size a little bit bigger. So from 16 to 24px. So what we'll see now is we'll have something a little bit larger. So if I want to style up the entire page with a certain typeface, I would generally do it on the body tag. Our typeface is exactly the same here and here. So when I'm going to go and add things in here, I'm going to add some typeface to this page. I'm going to do this on the body tag. Now at the moment we've got this kind of basic style set up. Now we're not going to worry too much about the typography just yet. What we want to do in a minute is start to style this up without any movement and without any typography on the page. So that's what we're going to do in the next video.